Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, last week we have finished this modeling and sheet creation, right? So there was a issue when we import the detail, right? Actually, there's some software issue, right? Now, okay, after I imported, now there's no issue. Okay, if you want, I can do it again. So I create a new rafting view. So go to view, create a rafting view. So this one I call second story beam. Okay. So this one I make it one is to maybe one is to 20 or 25. Okay. So this one I delete it. I don't need this one. Okay. Now I got to insert import cat file. Right. So choose a cat file. Uh, beam detail. Okay. So this is a detail. Oh, why can I select now? Wait, I do it again. Okay. Now you see I can able to select, right? This detail I can able to select, right? If you want to edit this one, right? What you want to do, you have to explode it, right? You have to explore the detail. You can explore partially or fully, right? So if you explore this one, now you can able to edit in Revit. Wait for a while because it's a lot of details, so it takes some times. Okay. Okay, now you can see, right? So you can select the lines, right? Or text, you can select it. So you can edit it, right? So you know how to edit this one. We already learned how to edit the details, right? So then you can edit it. So you can, if you want, you can select this source beam, right? So sometimes, right, you cannot fit into the seats, right? So you had to break the beams, right? In between, you had to break it. So you know how to do it, how to modify, break these lines and do it, right? So it's basically 2D details, right? So it's a way to import it, then you can create the seeds. Okay. Okay. So there's some software issue. That's why last week doesn't work. So it's now it's working. You know, this way you can do it. Okay. So today I'm going to explain how to create the 3D rebar. Okay, so before that, I have already installed this extension, right? I say last week, I explained last week. So there are some add-ins in the Revit. So you can go to the Revit Autodesk application store. So you can search for the rebar. So there's some free, some are paid one, some are free. So I install the free one. So you also can install. So rebar detailing. So I install this one, the head. Okay. So there's some are trials, right? So the head rebar extension, right? I install this one, right? So you may install this one also, right? So if you install it, then you can easily add the rebar. Right? Later I go through it, but this one is easier one, right? Adding manually is very difficult, right? Okay. Actually, right, in the, so if you want to do in your own company, right, try to use this application. Actually, this is quite easy. You can add in the many details here, but the head rebar also there's a limitation. Later I explain it, right? If your company, if you want to purchase, you can consider this one. This one they have a lot of detail inside. Okay. So okay, after you install, you can see this tab in your software, right? So later we see how to do this one. It's very far easy, but it's very limited one. Maybe it's because it's a free, so it may be they may have the limited informations. Okay, first we go and do manually in Revit, right? After that we come and do in using this add-ons. Okay, so in order to do this one, I don't want to mess up the detail here. So what I'm going to do, I create a new view, right? So I duplicate this one, duplicate the view, right? So I name it this one, rename it. Uh,
குழந்தை
store
மின்னஞ்சல்
to
செய்து வச்சுக்கிறேன். இதுல என்ன
column
அடி குப்பையா வச்சுக்கிற அடி இது
detail.
கிடந்த அடி சாமான் என்று
Okay, okay. This is a column. Okay, I rename it as a column detail because I'm going to add the rebar, so I don't want to mess up this from other main plan. So I remove the unnecessary thing, right? So here, right, for easy purpose, I want to hide the beams and slabs, right? I select all, go to filter, uncheck the column, right? So others I want to hide it in the view. This particular view only we hide it, right? So basically I see the column, right? I think something problem in the model. Two columns are deleted. I don't know why. Yeah, two columns are deleted. Why is deleted? Okay, let me quickly copy this one. Copy. Right. This one is story one to roof. Okay. This one also story one to roof. Okay. One more thing I'm going to do in the first story, right? We have the column only, right? So I want at the base slab. That means the raw foundations. Okay. So in order to add the raw foundation, I want to go to foundations, right? So foundation slab. So I want to add the slab here. So first I want to draw some lines, right? So because we don't know the extension, or we can put the extension here. So I just draw simple one, right? So I can use a line first. Later we edit it, right? We can edit later. How much does a B design? 1.5 meter something, right? So I draw it first. Later we can edit anyway. Oh, it's all correct. Right? So now we want to edit the sketch, we can edit this one, right? These two we can move from here to here. Oh my 1005. Okay. Okay, it's look okay. So thickness. Foundation is left thing say edit, right? Duplicate. I say 800 thick, right? Okay. Edit thickness 800. Apply. Okay. Right? 800 thick foundation slab. Okay, now let's go to the column detail. Okay, okay, let's start from first story. Okay, I don't. We can do it later. Second story. We start from first story. So this one I call column detail. Okay, right. This one also I hide it. I don't want to see here. Hide in the view. This section also hide. Hide. Also I don't need the walls. So basically, I clear the drawing because when at the rebar there's a lot of information, so I don't want to confuse it. So that's why I am hiding the unnecessary information here. So basically, this one I am going to do only the column. Okay. So now we are going to place the rebar here first, right? So let's see the detail here. We already have the column schedule, right? Here, right? Rafting view or seats. This is right. We have a column C1. Column C1, what's the detail? 16 H20. So this side we have 3, 4, 5 rebar, right? H20. Then we have the two links. Okay. Okay. In order to add the rebar, we need the sections. We had to cut the section. So I cut the section here. We go to view, cut the section, right? So this section I can call this section I can call as C1 6 where sections. What to view? Section 2. This one I rename it to columns C1. Right? Okay. So, okay. So this is a column, right? So the problem is the column, right, is running from the first story for 1 to roof, right? So I am going to add the rebar floor by floor, right? You already, or everybody know, right? We are going to add the rebar floor by floor, right? So in order to add the rebar floor by floor, what I want to do is I want to split the column, right? So go to the split tools. So split it at the floor level, right? Each floor level you split it. So I split the column below the beams. Okay, now you can select the column individually. Okay, right. Okay, so now select the column, go to rebar. You see, already there's a rebar, right? Or you can go successor and select the rebar. Okay, I forgot to explain one more thing. Okay, setting up the cover. You see, already there's a cover, right? Right now, let's see how to modify this cover, right? So go to the structure under the reinforcement, right? Select rebar cover setting, right? So already there's a cover, standard cover based on the exposure condition, right? You know, right? In Eurocode, they define the exposure condition XC1, XC2, XC3, HT1, and so on, right? So if you are not familiar, if you want a custom one, right, for your own project, so you can add it on. Let's say the column, right? I'm going to maintain the consistent cover for all column. For let's say 40 mm. So I maintain 40 mm, right? For beam, for example, let's say beam, right? Beam, normally we may have two different cover, beam bottom one cover, beam top another cover, right? So I call beam bottom. Then we add beam top. Similarly, slab bottom, slab top. You can add it if you want, right? Or if you are familiar with the naming, right? If you are familiar with the naming, then you can use a naming system. right? Okay, column 40 column bottom I maintain 40, column top I maintain 25, right? All are in the code. You can just refer the code. So I just you can change it based on your project. It's basically it's depend on the exposure condition and fire rating, right? So column even column top 20 and column bottom 30. 20. Okay. Okay. Now I select this one. I change the cover, right? So I change the cover to column. All the cover I change to column because basically column we don't go with the different color cover sizes, right? All are uniform same size. So I use the same size for column. Okay, I selected. Then click the rebar, right? Okay. So okay. Now you can see rebar shape, right? You can see the rebar shape, right? So you had to choose which rebar shape you are going to consider. Actually, this is a standard shape. You can create your own shape also. Later I explain how to create the own shape, right? These are the standard rebar shape. If you are familiar with the bar scheduling, right, then you know the numbers, right? Rebar numbers. The BS code, the all BS code, they have a rebar schedule with the number, right? So see, basically they comply these numbers. Okay, right. So now you can ask me about some other question, like how to set up the rebar, right? Basically, you can see now there's a rebar, different rebar, right? Also, if I go to edit type, right, you can see the standard bend and cook, right? How to modify this? You can modify here, or right, or you can go reinforcement setting. So here you can set up actually. Oh, here I got, okay, now I think they change it. Okay, so you're supposed to do it here. Okay, so select the column, right? So edit type. So standard bend, right? This one you can change it. Basically, based on the code, Eurocode 2, up to 60 diameter, up to 16 diameter, 4 times diameter is a bend and coupe. More than 16 diameter, that means onwards 18 and 27 diameter. This is a code. But for your project and based on your contract requirements, right, you can change it if you want. Okay. So I leave it standard. Okay. First, I'm going to place a link, right? So column link. So I select the link type, right? I choose 52, right? So now you see how to place a link, right? So this one expand the coins, right? So this one I am selecting this one, right? Not to put 2 points. So one is the element, right? Free form, we can do our own free form link, right? So this one I select then current work plane. This is my current work plane, right? I select this is a current work plane, right? Then placement. Placement, I want to place parallel to cover, right? Parallel to cover, right? This way or this way, parallel to cover. Okay. Then rebar set. I want to create not a single, right? It's a is spacing, right? We can go with a fixed number. If we calculate the total number, you can go with a fixed number. But I want to go with the spacing, right? So I go with maximum spacing how much? So I think 200. Or later on we can change it also. So first I set it 200. Okay, I change the rebar diameter 10, right? We can change also later on. Okay, now if I bring your cursor, then it's automatically showing, right? This way or this way. This cover or this cover. Okay, this way, right? Because we say parallel to cover, right? Select, click, just click. Now you have done your link. Okay, see link already, right? So select this link, extend rebar, maximum spacing is saying 100, so I change to 200. Okay, automatic change. Now let's go and see the rebar schedule. Okay, based on our design, right? The link is how much? H10, right? It's around 150. The price is 146, right? It's around 150. So if you want to comply this detail, then we can go back, select this one, change to X16, then maximum spacing 150. Okay, So now it's done. Okay. Okay. Rebar maximum is basic. Now, if you want to modify it, actually you can change this rebar also, right? Edit constraint and so on. You can do it. Right. Okay. So let's go to the plan. Right. Okay. Now you see you cannot see this detail because of our visibility option. So I change to wireframe. Now you can see, right? So if you don't like to see like this, if you want to see a thick line, then go here, select the thick line. Okay, then you can see like this, right? Or if you don't want, you can see like this, right? So there's an option, so it's up to you. So I go with this method. Okay. Okay. So now we already place a link, right? Then now we can place a vertical rebar. Okay. So vertical rebar, you can place either on the plan or you can place either on the section, right? So on the plan also you can do it actually. So select this column, like rebar. Okay. So now it's vertical rebar is a straight, right? Straight. So we is H20, right? So place one work plane, right? Place one is perpendicular to the cover. Oh, single rebar. Oh, okay. I think there's an issue. Okay. So we go to the section and do it. So select the column, click rebar, right? So it's a work plane, right? Place one work plane. Okay. Rebar, single rebar. Okay. So we place a single rebar. Okay. So now let's go to the okay. First we check the diameter, H20 diameter, right? Okay, so in the end, if you want the cook, then we can provide the cook. But currently, we don't need the cook, right? So I go to the plan, right? You see the rebar is here. So we do the setup first. This one we move to here, right? Now it's just arrangement, right? Okay, it's just a rafting work, right? So it's copy, and then you can place to here, right? So you see this is a 40 mm cover, this one 10, so 50, right? Then this diameter is 20, so it's become 60. So you can set up this 60. Why cannot change? Suppose you can able to change this one. Can you standard? Sometimes giving this error, but I suppose it change it. I don't know. Okay, never mind. Try this one. Okay. I think there's some issue on the adjustment. Okay. So now we can copy between here to here how much, right? So if you want, you can move it slightly inside, right? So this one, okay, I make it 290. I don't know why you cannot change the dimension. Basically, it's all dimension can be changed, right? So this one 640, right? I take 640, right? 640. We have the four. We have three bar rebar here, right? So divide by how much? Four. So what's the spacing? 640 divided by 4 is around 160. So if you want, you can double check it here, but it cannot be 160. Let me see, check here. Maximum rebar should be 150. Oh, this is not in scale. Oh, it is 1:20 scale, right? 1:20 scale. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Height. Okay. Okay. I place it equally here. Okay. So I copy this one. Copy. Make it 160. 160. 160. Okay. Now it is layer rebar done. Same thing we can copy to down. Okay, done. Okay. Now we have the side rebar here, right? How many? We have three, right? That's also same spacing, right? 160. So I copy to side 160, 160, 160. This one move to the okay. Now this one, if you want, you can take the mirror also if you want. Mirror, okay. So you can take a mirror. So now you already finished your vertical rebar. So you can go intersection and see now rebar is there, right? Okay. Now you see the rebar start from here, right? So if you want to start from below, right? You can click here and move this rebar to here. See, you can move it like this, but I don't want like this. Okay. So, okay, now okay, basically you have the rebar from here, right? You had a rebar from here, right? So what I want to do is I want to bring down all the way down, right? All the rebar I want to bring down, right? If you want, you can draw some reference line here, annotate, right? So you can draw some reference lines. Okay, basically you have the rebar here, right? After all the rebar, no issue, but at this moment I just draw the reference line for easy purpose, right? So you like all the rebar. Then what we want to do, we had a bend it, right? Then you can select the bend here, right? Bend hook at start, right? 90 degree, let's say 90 degree, right? So this is rotation start is I make it other way 90, right? Or 180. We can see, right? So this one I make it 180. This one also I make it standard hook 180. Oh, sorry. This one is supposed to be 90. This one is 90, right? Okay. This one, if you want to bend inside, then you can do inside, right? So this one make it 90. So is you can decide how you want to do it, right? Okay. Okay. Now we have select all these five rebar and done it, right? So let's go and see in 3D. Okay. right? Okay, now you can see, right? These three bars are, you see, these three bars going out, right? So these three bars not selected. That's why if you don't see it, right? So if you what you can do, you can select all three bars, right? So select is cook 90 degree. This one you can make it 0 or 90, maybe, right? It's up to you. So you can select maybe 90, all 90, right? So it's clashing, right? So undo, right? Okay. And so it's just a detailing. So based on your own arrangement, you have to set up when the purpose of 3D rebar is this one, right? So you can make sure that your rebar can be anchored properly before go to the construction, right? So if you don't want this kind of the detail, right, then no need to develop this one because it actually is a time wasting, right? It's taking a lot of time to do it, right? So if you're not going to use the person, what's the purpose you? If you want other way, right, I think we can make it minus or 270. We can make it 270, right? So all are going out in here. Okay. So now already we set up all the rebars, right? So we go for one more time and see this right? Okay. Secondly, right, this all rebar, right? What other things you can do here? This rebar is I can say. Okay, this one you can move up because second story rebar going to start from here, right? So you can left the rebar, right? So one way is you can move this rebar up, right? So you can do that one. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to the 3D, right? So first story column details, right? Okay, let's see the 3D. Okay, 3D, right? So this is a big one, right? So we had to choose our column. Okay, see, this is our column. So I isolate this column. Okay, sorry, isolate this column. Temporary isolation. Okay, so you see this is a column, right? We have rebar inside, cannot see right now. So I change the this. Oh, I think rebar not selected. Undo, undo. Rebar already is there, but it's not selected. Okay. Okay. So to isolate the element. So now you can see rebars are there, right? So I select the hidden view so you can see clearly wireframe, right? So now you can see, right? Right? So you can see all rebars are bent down, right? So you can see that we have the link and vertical rebars also anchor into the slab, right? Okay. 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 Next thing is the link. Okay. I go to plan. This 3D not need anymore. Okay. So now we have to row the link like this. Okay. So select the column. Go to rebar. Let's check the standard format. So standard format we don't have it. So what we want to do is we have to row our own one, right? So what I have to do is so the project, right? Select place one free form, right? I am going to freely form this one. That means there is no any shape. So I am going to produce my own shape, right? To free form, I want to select the surface. Then now I am going to sketch, right? I am going to sketch it, right? So I choose a rebar diameter x6h8, right? I saw the now I start to draw the line, right? Okay, basically it's depend on your bending radius. So you have to produce this one based on the bending radius, right? So you're gonna go very close. If you go very close, there's is a bending radius problem. Then you had to do the calculation and do it accordingly. Okay, click OK. So now you see we have produced this one, right? So my sketch is not perfect because I create bigger one. So you can calculate the bending radius and add accordingly. Okay. So now we have to do this one. You see the shape, right? You can provide own shape. You can say diagonal link, diagonal link, right? Okay. So next time you can use this one, a diagonal link. Okay. Now if you want to modify it, actually you can modify it if you want. You can see you can reduce like this. If you want, you can reduce it, right? Basically, all are dimensions, right? You have to follow the dimensions. Okay. Okay. Okay, done. Now we see this is a single, right? So we can change to maximum, right? Is 150 spacing. Maximum spacing 150. So it's automatically created. So we can go and see in our section, right? The section you can see there's a two links, right? So it's because of we have two links, right? Okay, here, right? Okay. So based on this one, we have producer details, right? Our details are same as Lisa's, correct? Okay. So this is a manual way. Now you understand how difficult this one, right? It take a lot of time, right? It's not automated, so it take a lot of time. So after produce one, if you want, you can copy paste, right? Actually, you can group together everything, then you can copy paste, right? So you can create, you can select all the rebars, right? Sorry, it's not locked. Okay, right. Now you select all the rebar, right? Okay. Then you can copy. It's a normal way you can copy paste from one to one other one. That one can be done, no issue. Okay, I think some vertical bars are not selected. That's why it's coming like this. But if you select all right, then shouldn't be an issue. Right? Let's try again. Reason is we have the rebar outside. That's why it's not fully selected. Okay. Okay. Now copy. Select copy to this column. Okay, now you can see this one all I can copy. Then you can modify the number of rebars and so on. Right? So if you want to change the diameter, you can easily do it, right? That's one very fast, right? So if you want to change, increase the diameter or you want to delete this one, it's a faster, right? But you understand the procedure, right? Actually, it's take a lot of time to do it, right? So, okay, this is a manual way to do in Revit, right? So now I am going to explain how to do it using this add-ins, right? Cat3 bar extension, right? So in order to do this one, you just want to select the column. You don't need to do any other thing. Just select the one column, go to this cat3 bar extension, right? Click column, right? So we go with the UK, right? UK standard, right? So it's to automatically pick up the column, right? So now we go in the, you see column sizes are already there, right? Okay, vertical bar, right? So you see vertical bar here, right? So what's the diameter? 20 diameter, right? So NB how much is 5, right? NB 5, right? Okay, 5. This side also we have 5. Hey, do we need any bundle bar in corners? We don't need, right? You want to provide any kicker height? No need. Okay, at this one, no need. Okay. Then shrub. Shrub means link. Okay, in the American names is shrub. Shrub is link. It's 8, right? Okay, syrup type. You see, here they have the limitation, right? We cannot add more. Okay, that is a problem, right? That is a problem here, right? So I choose this type first, right? Okay, then is a distribution, right? So distribution, I go with the uniform, right? So SN is a spacing 150. Okay. Then is a cover, right? How much cover I want to provide is a for column cover, right? Column cover, right? Then okay, the cook, right, is about it's 135 degrees as standard, right? Okay. Then it's additional stuff. Now we can add the additional stuff, right? So additional stuff start from, you see initial bar is 1, right? Initial bar is 1. Shrub type. We don't want the cook, we want the full. Let's say we want the full one. Okay. Oh, okay. You see, we can do it like this. Start from 2, we can provide 1 coup, right? Tie number of bar is 1. Okay. You see, we are doing like this. Okay. Then we can add another one. I now start from 3 bar A or B, sorry, B, right? We are tying number of bars 1. Okay, the cook 1 is 135 degree, cook 2 is 90 degrees, so common. If you don't want, if you want to change it 130 degrees, you can change it actually. You can do like this, but it's not very common. It's up to you. You can decide anyway. It's design anyway. Okay. So now is this one okay? Then it's a double. Do we need a double or not? Right? Okay. So I want the double. Let's say I want the double. Right? So double is how much I want to provide. Okay. So this double you see is a upper story, right? Not a lower story. Upper story. Upper story, right? So I want the double bar. Okay. So double bar is how much is the L? L is how much I want to provide. 40 diameter, right? Generally 40 diameter. So if you want to change, you can change this one. Okay, then in the area, whether you want to provide any link or not, towel area, right? You can provide the shrub if you want, right? If you okay, I leave it first. Okay, so this one okay. Now it's generating the rebar. So now you can see our rebar is here. So if you want the section, then we produce a section and we can look into 3D. So we produce a section here, right? So this one I change, rename to, where is our earlier section? There, column. Column, this one, what's the name? C5, column name. This column is C5. C5, correct. Okay. So, okay, let's go to C5, section C5. So, you see, is produce a rebar nicely, right? Is produce a rebar nicely throughout the column, right? So, okay, we provide the, what is this? It's a double, right? That's why it's going up. Otherwise, we can stop it, right? So we can modify this one actually, right? Like if you gonna select select the column, go here again, column. Now you can modify it, right? Okay, I click OK, right? No doubles, right? Right. So it's like this. Okay. Now this is a normal rebar. Actually, you can provide the bend here, right? Bend here. Okay, now you can ask me one question, right? Why this rebar is continuous like this? The reason is this column is continuous. I did not divide this column. So that's why it's produced the rebar from one to one, one to from top bottom to top. If you divide the column, it's produced only for one column, right? Okay. If you are happy about this one, you can leave it. Okay, you if you don't want the rebar at the floor level, you can select and delete it, right? Ungroup and delete it, right? So that's a one way to you can do it. Okay, so this is a one thing. Another thing, right? Okay, I got to my earlier one, right? Earlier one, I already divide the column, so I choose this column. Right now you can see the difference. Okay, I had the same rebar here, right? Okay, bars, vertical bars is 20, right? Okay, it's asking the top, you want any cook or not? I don't need a cook top, so it's none. Bottom, do we need any cook? No, I don't need any cook. So it's a 5 rebar, right? Syrup, I set up the cover first. Okay. H8, this type, okay. Uniform is 150 spacing. Okay. Then additional stuff, right? Now let's add, right? This time I change the idea. So I start from one, right? Number of bars to be tied. Okay, so I change the type. Okay, I want to provide like this. Okay, so is automatic provided. Okay, so okay, then so now I want a double bar. So I change double for 40. So let's produce. So you see three bars are now it's double is on top, right? So this rebar we start from here and it's going up. Reason is column start from here, right? So that's why it's start from. So if you divide the column here and this one, we if you make a separate, then it start from here. Okay, next floor, let's try that way. You see this column, right? So I'm going to divide this column again here. So let's see how it's look. So it's split. Okay, this column already split that. Okay, now let's go and do it. Okay, column, high geometry bars 20 by all none, five numbers, a shrub, 8 diameter, spacing is 150. Uniform is okay. This one uniform. Additional stuff. Add. So I go with this method. Okay. Doubles. So I select the doubles. Okay. So now it's okay, right? You see this double is going until here, 40 for 40 diameter lapping. Then we our start rebar start from here, right? So it's look nice. Then you can do here and here. But this one when you do here, you had to split again. You had to split here. Okay. So I split that. Okay. So let's complete this column. So okay, you see, can we add two columns together? Cannot. So go and select here. So he skips some error. Oh, he's adding, but suppose he's some he's have a error. Okay, so let's do one first. Okay, bars H20 strap H8 150 spacing cover column. Okay, these all are correct. Add the additional strap this type. Okay, double. We have doubles. Okay, all look okay. So we go under here. Okay, here this floor we don't need a double. So top rebar we had to anchor into the slab. Okay. So go to column. Same thing. And up a diameter. This one change to the column. 150 spacing. Additional strap. I add. Change to this type. Okay. Oh, sorry. This one no need. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I haven't modified. Sorry. That's a problem. Oh, we can modify. Double. I don't need the double, right? I don't need the double. Okay. So top rebar are here, right? So now what we can do is we can manually add the hook. We can manually add the hook. Right? You select all the rebar of the top floor and manually add the hook. Okay. So our rebar details are completed, right? The one columns rebar is fully completed, right? Okay. So you can go to the plan. This is one, right? So each floor you can see rebar, right? So the floor, okay, I close all this one first. This one we had done on the level 5. Okay, this one no need. This one also no need. Okay, so let's go other floors and see, right? So rebars are here, right? So why I am seeing two? Because it's a lapping, right? Floor level we are lapping it, right? So that's why we are seeing two. So okay, actually rebar is link is there. So if you change the type wireframe, then you can see it, right? Level 4, level 5, right? And level 5, 4, 5, all you can we have a rebar. Okay. Okay. Now I believe you already understand, right? How to add the rebar for columns, right? So manual way and using these add-ins, right? So it's a free, you can use it. Or manual way, you understand, right? Manual way there's a lot of works. Okay. Okay, this is for the column. So rest of the column, you know how to do is just repeating things, right? I don't need to explain it. So this already I explained how to copy paste, right? One column, right? So other column you can just copy paste it, right? So change the rebar also, you can produce it. Okay. Next one, I explain how to add the rebar for slab, right? So before that, let me do the for beam, then let's do for the column, right? So beams, I'm going to do for these two beams, right? So I cut the two section here. Uh, section. So this one visibility, I change it. Then this another section is here. Okay, this section I call this section is beam 2B4, right? What's the name of the section 2? Section 2 I call BB4. Beam 2B4. Right? This one is I call 2B5. Beam 2B5. Okay. So let's go to this section. Go to view. Right? Second story. Right? So you can see, right? This is a beam. Right? This is a slab. Okay. So I select the beam first, right? So basically it's together, but because of the slab, I cannot see, right? If you want what you can, what we can hide the slab first elements, right? Let's see, hide, work, but it doesn't work. Okay, okay, okay. So select the beam. It's same as like a column. Okay, manually adding the rebar, right? Beams and column basically same. We had add by right? So go to right. Okay, first we set up the cover, right? So you select the column cover, beam cover, right? I select the bottom, right? Okay, add rebar. Okay, so let's add the link, right? Link. Let's add the link first, right? So what type of the link you want, right? So let's say I want this type 52, right? So rebar I change to H10. Okay. So place one perpendicular to the cover. Oh, I cannot do it. Okay. Okay. So this one I change to space because now it's single, right? I change to the I put the spacing, so it's automatically changed. It's automatically cover, right? Automatically cover all the way here, right? So now we produce a link. If we want, we can go and see in the section. Okay. So we have a section here, A. I can create another small section here, and we can produce. We can split up. How to view, right? So it's a wrong. It's a wrong. It's a wrong. It's a wrong. That's why we had to check carefully. That's why we have to check carefully. Okay, this a link. Basement parallel to cover. Okay. Okay. So we brought the link already, right? Now you okay in the section you produce a link. Okay. So okay, I cannot see here. Okay, never mind. Okay, so now this is a single link, right? So we had to multiply this one. So I project spacing, my create spacing 200, right? So you see that this link, suppose a full link, right? Cannot be only here, right? Because the beam also part of this one, right? So we had to move this one like this. Okay. So now it is a beam, it's a part, slab is a part of the beam, right? So you can see here, right? Why I gonna see the six? Never mind. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. So this one is now you can copy, right? So you can copy to all area, all the beam you can copy because all beam size are same, right? So I copy all the beam. Okay. Then now you guys start to add your grid line A. Let me see whether we are working the correct grid line or not. What to plan? Grid line A. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Grid line C, right? Yeah, one is grid line C. This one. This one. Okay. So we can see here, right? This is our link. Hmm. Okay. Now we produce a link, right? So next one we produce a bottom rebar. Then we copy the top rebar. Okay. So select the beam. Sorry, select the beam, not the link. Sorry. Select the beam. How to rebar. Right. Now I'm going to produce a vertical, sorry, straight rebar. Straight. Okay. So work plane. Right. Okay. 46. Okay. It is add again. Hmm.
டேய்
Okay. So bottom rebar, I make it 20 diameter. Right. Okay.
வேண்டாம் எனக்கு
Okay.
நாளை கிளாஸ் இருக்கு சரியா நான் அப்ப இது பூட்டலையோ கேட் அவர்கிட்ட இல்லையாமோ அப்பப்போ பூட்டுறது
Okay. So yeah, I add the rebar here, right? So now what we want to do is similarly column, we had a copy paste, all right. So I copy paste this one, right? Then we calculate the spacing and add the additional rebars inside, right? So what's the spacing? 640. So I make it another 5 rebar. Yeah. Why is it going? I think now okay. So I sorry, I want to change the security setting because someone's continuously unmuted. So I first I mute it, later on I can unmute it. Right, I change the security setting. Okay, okay. So okay, so now what we I want to copy this one, right? So pay or I want to provide maybe 120 spacing or something. Okay. So go to modify, copy. Sorry, bar copy from here to 120, 120, 120, 120. It's around there. Okay. So you can move down this rebar. You can adjust this rebar. Okay. Fine, right? Bottom rebar we already added. Similarly, you can copy bottom rebar. Then you can copy to top. Right? Adjust now. Okay. Right? So let's go and see the elevations, right? Okay, this I think wrong. Okay, so rebar is like this, right? So now if we add another rebar here, another say, beam, right? Then you can lap it here, right? Okay, so one beam we produce this way. Understand, right? So basically you have to based on the sections and plans. Okay, so if you want to add another link here, what you want to do is you have to provide is a because the standard section, right? They cover only outside, they don't have inside, I think. So if you want, we can double check it to whether they have the link inside or not. Whether they have or not. I think they don't have. Okay, so what we can do is we can draw our own link, right? So like a column, we can draw our own link here, right? Then you can uh, copy to other section. Okay, see, it's okay, right? Okay, so now let's okay, this is the thing, right? So if you want, what I can do is I can copy everything, this all copy, right? Right. So I copy this point, right? This point. Never mind. Okay, so now I had to modify it, right? So so basically I had to modify, right? So it's a based on the lap length, you can modify this one, right? Where this one also you can move under the column, right? We don't need to provide a link inside the column, right? So you can move it, right? So this rebar you can bring into the column, right? This rebar you can bend down, right? So 90 degree bend, right? Not it start at the end, I think. It's bend down at the start. Oh, okay. Things is bending inside. Okay, we can change the degree 270 upward. So 90 suppose we correct, right? Okay. Similarly, this one also you can bend, right? So you, if you want, you can adjust, then you can bend 90 degree, right? So if you want to bend up, then you can change it to 90, 270, sorry, right? What is this rebar? This two, oh, sorry. Okay. So there's a many rebars, right? So one by one you had to do it, or you can select all the rebar on the plan section right here and do it. Okay. If you cut one section, then you can select all the rebar and do, right? So this one you move until here. This rebar you can bring inside and lap. This one also bring inside and lap. Okay. So this rebar we had to stop at here, right? And doing only one rebar, right? Other rebar also you had to do the same thing, right? So if you want all rebar, you just move here. Yes, several rebar, 5 rebars or something, right? Okay. So now it's the end, 9 degree bend. Okay. Similarly, this one is the end, 90 degree bend. So 270. Right. So now select all the rebar and do it same thing. Right. Similarly here. Okay. It's done, right? Our rebars are done. This one also I select all. Okay. Work done. Okay. If you want, you can cut the another section here and you can see, right? I just cut one temporary section here. You can see details are there. Right. So I delete this one. Okay. 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 Now this 2v4, right? We have at the rebar. So if you want to see, you can see here, right? Actually, don't see because we haven't changed the detail type. So that's why actually there's a retail. Okay. Okay, now I copy second story plan, duplicate another view. So I'm going to rename it this one as a slab detail. I'm going to produce a slab detail. Okay. So before that, this beam, right? This beam done 2 before, right? This beam 2 before done. This beam, okay. I produce a rebar based on I am going to produce a rebar using this cat rebar extension app, right? So go to beam. Let me try is a continuous beam because when I try continuous beam, it's not working. But other apps is working here. And let me see. So error is showing error. Can I select that continuous beam? Okay, never mind. So we sorry. Okay, so I select the beam, go to cat extension beams, right? Okay, the beam, this is a geometry, right? So slab, right? We go with H10, right? H10. So cover is a beam, right? Beam top is a cover, right? If you want to provide the anti-shrinkage rebar here, then you can add it, but I'm not going to provide. It is a sub distribution. I want to go with the linear, right? Linear. So spacing is 200, let's say 200, right? So here, if you want to avoid the link from this line, anything, then you can provide, you can change it. Right, now you can see the dimensions, right? So if you want, you can change using DL and DR detail. Why this? Okay. Then main rebar, right? Main bottom rebar, right? I provide maybe 6 numbers of H20 rebar. Top also I provide the same numbers, right? 6 numbers, right? Then the L, the bend up how much, right? How much, right? So, okay, it depends, right? Sometimes we had a bend up, sometimes we don't want to bend up, right? So, I make it 0 first, right? Okay. Then additional top rebar. Do we want to provide any additional top rebar? We can provide here. Additional bottom rebar, we don't need. Bar division, right? If you want a laptop rebar, we can provide the detail here. Strap, I think we can add the additional strap. Why cannot add here? Um, don't have. Or they have the detail something like this. That's a limitation, right? If you want the tooling, you can provide like this. But this one make it 300. Okay. So now if they are putting the rebar, so we go to this section now, then you can see. So now you can see, but I think this one we wrongly produced last time. I delete this one, right? So see, this is a rebar arrangement. Okay. Similarly, other beams also we can produce, right? So now you understand how to produce and you had to modify it. Okay. So this way you can produce beam detail. Then slab details, right? Okay. So, okay, slab, right? It's an area reinforcement. I'm going to provide between these two beams because I don't want to overlap through the beams, right? So I want to provide between these two beams. So in the Revit, there's a option, special option, right? Okay. So now you can see all the rebar, right? In the Revit, there's a special option is area reinforcement, right? If you go here, then you can see area reinforcement, right? So if you select the slab, right, then you can see add is area reinforcement. So you can see, sorry, go to area reinforcement. Then you can sketch the area reinforcement. Okay, okay. Okay. So how to select the rebar? Cancel first. You can select any slab. Now you can see under reinforcement, area reinforcement, right? So I'm going to sketch the rebar between these two, right? These two, right? Okay. So I choose a rectangle option. You can choose line or other option also. So I'm going to produce a rebar detail between column beam to beam, right? I explain the reason, right? So I'm going to produce between beam to beam. So I produce only this area first. Okay. Now it's done. I have done the rebar. Okay. Now you see this is a rebar, right? So now I can modify this one. Yeah, wait. Uh, outside boundary. Okay. See rebar, top major, right? So in the major is based on the spanning direction. So it's spanning this way, so major. So top major, okay, I am going to provide H12 is 200. Top minor, right? So top minor, I want to provide H10 300. Okay. Then the bottom major, I want to provide H12 200, right? Then minor, I want to provide H10 300. Apply, right? Then now you can see the rebar, right? It's a 200 spacing spanning direction. Perpendicular spanning direction is 300. The distribution direction rebar is 300. You can see the difference, right? Then all the informations are here, right? And you can see here, right? So if you want to change the T1, T2, where I can change is you can go here, reinforcement setting, area reinforcement. See here, major T1, right? This one, if you want to call T2, you can do here T1, T2, E1, B2, right? It's already there. Okay. So if you want to see the detail, okay, what I can do is I reduce this section. I go to this section A, right? So you can see the detail now, right? You can edit this rebar actually. Okay. If you want to delete the rebar, also you can delete the cross section rebar. If you want to delete it, you can remove the bar, right? Okay. Then okay, now if you if you have the top another bar, right, then you can add the another bar, top bar. Then you can add the another lapping bar. Then you can add the additional rebar, base rebars are here in this span, right? So span between two core beams, right? You can add this rebar. Then you can add um, uh, top bar or bottom bar manually, right? So this is a way you can add the slab reinforcement. It's very fast, right? Okay. The slab bar also, if you want to cook it, also you can cook actually. Why it's not active? You should able to modify here. Okay, I believe now you understand how to add the 3D rebar, right? It take a lot of times, but it can be done, right? Okay, if not necessary, then you don't need to do all these kind of the very fine details, right? So if really need for your construction, then you can. It's worth to add the 3D rebar. Otherwise, 2D rebars are sufficient, right? Okay, I already explained how to import the rebar from AutoCAD, right? For beams and slab, beam, column, and walls, right? Slab we didn't do it, right? So slab rebar, right? Normally we don't show like this. We show only two lines, right? So then we provide the annotation. What is a rebar in T1 direction? What is a rebar in T2 direction, right? So if you want to choose so same thing, right? Actually, you can say so here, right? If you go, if we change the shaded view, right? So it automatically present like this. Now you see rebar area and is provided information, right? Okay, so this drawing you can straight away present in your construction drawing, right? So it's very fast, right? So you don't need to show all these correct rebars because it's unnecessary, right? So showing like this, your drawing also may not clearly represent the details, right? So you can do this way. It's very fast. Okay, that's all today. I want to leave early today. So if you have any doubts, maybe next class. Okay, next week is the last class, right? I already explained, right? Next week is the last class. My Tuesday, I am going to explain how to produce how to do custom family, how to create a custom family, right? So that's a Tuesday class. Thursday class, I will explain how to design uh, transfer beams, right? That's my plan, right? So if you have any doubts on the rebar, you can ask me on Wednesday, sorry, the Tuesday. Okay. So I stop sharing then.